What's up, y'all? You know what time it is. It's that time. We're going to be talking about Black Widow's box office decline. That was such a terrible Stephen A. Smith impression. I don't know what I'm doing. But I do want to talk to you guys about this steep fall from grace that Black Widow had. Okay? Because I brought up to you guys on opening weekend the numbers that Disney was just straight up just piling on and kerfuffling and, mismanaging their information. It's not misinformation, but it is technically a lie what they said last week when they said that it was the biggest opening for a Marvel origin movie and however long they said. They was comparing it to Black Panther. They was comparing it to Captain Marvel. No, those two billion-dollar movies, huge hits, over $100 million at the box office opening weekend. This was not. They added in numbers. So you remember that. They added in their streaming numbers. So, actual box office is back again. And Black Widow, not only did it lose the Space Jam in its second week, well, Space Jam's in its first week, but Black Widow in its second week should not have lost the Space Jam, and here's why. Black Widow dropped 67%, the largest ever since the MCU has started, the largest decline for a second weekend film since the MCU has started. That tells you something. What does it tell you? We'll talk about in a minute. But the actual number was 26.3 million in its sophomore session, its second weekend, losing to Space Jam, which opened with 31.6 million. So, and I think that has actually dipped as of Monday to like 31.1, and Black Widow's at like 25.9. But, actuals, estimates, they pretty much come around the same. So, Black Widow is, without a doubt, not the mega hit that Disney tried to play it out to be. Okay? Now, I still haven't seen the film. My opinion on it, all of what I'm talking about now is not based on my opinion of the movie, because I don't have an opinion of the movie. I haven't seen it yet. But I love the truth. And I love bringing up the truth when it comes to the box office. Something happened here. Something is wrong with Black Widow. This is a MCU film coming out when people are wanting to go back to the theater because they've been crammed in their houses for over a year and they're wanting to get out. So it opened big on both the box office and Disney Plus. Where are those numbers? The average Marvel movie drops around 60%, between 58 and 60% in its second weekend. This is an entire 7% lower than the average. And possibly even 10% if you go with that 58 range that I mentioned. It's 10% lower than the average. That's bad. That's not a good sign. This movie does not have a great chance of making back its money and breaking even. Now, depending on what happens with the Disney Premier Access and PVOD, of course, it can always make back its money later down the road. But studios don't want to wait till later down the road. They want their money as soon as possible. They want to be profitable and not have to wait 3 years or an extra year for a movie to be profitable. It's not how the business works. It's not how studios work. So, with this bowing down to Space Jam, saying, "You're the king now, LeBron," and taking this big of a dip, everyone's speculating as to why. And everyone's blaming Disney Plus. But no one was blaming Disney Plus when Raya and the Last Dragon came out. No one was blaming Disney Plus when Mulan came out. No one was blaming Disney Plus when Cruella came out. But now, all of a sudden, we're dealing with a Marvel movie, steep drop second week. We're blaming Disney Plus. And you want to know why? And I warned you, Disney. I told you this would happen. You released your numbers and made this big deal out of it in your first weekend. adding it to the box office saying, we made over $100 million. It came back to bite you in the ass. And I told you that that would happen. I told you this is a mistake. And it's now officially a mistake. Because where's the numbers for streaming this week? I don't see the numbers here. I'm not seeing those numbers. Where's the Disney Plus numbers for this weekend? Oh, you didn't release them. Something's fishy. That's risky. Come on. You know, and I'm not making fun of Black Widow. Okay. It's made $232.7 million worldwide right now, which isn't enough to break even. And with these steep drops, it's going to be lucky because China doesn't even know when they want to release it. They're like, yeah, you can release it, but not right now. No, not right now. You release it later. Release it later? Disney is probably pissed. All the business they've done with China, I bet they're angry. They're angry right now. I would be too. Like, guys, like, we have a movie here. You said I can release it. It's released everywhere else. You're like, how long are you going to make me wait? And, you know, sometimes there is wait. Sometimes it's a month wait or a second wait or 2 months wait. I think Spider-Man Homecoming had like a 3-month wait. I don't know what the hell happened there. But at least you know, right? China's like, we don't know when we're going to let that come. We just don't know. So Black Widow's box office is looking like this might be the first MCU movie to date that's a box office failure. You got to go back to The Incredible Hulk, which, you know, I hate bringing that up because The Incredible Hulk is such an underrated film and I love it so much. And bringing up the fact that it didn't make that much money. Matter of fact, it's the lowest grossing MCU film, period. That hurts. It really does. And I know some people are probably hurt about Black Widow's box office, even though none of us should be hurt because these are just rich people making more money. It doesn't affect us either way. The only way it affects us is whether or not that movie gets a sequel. But Marvel's racking in so much money, they can afford to have one not make anything or not break even quick and that fast. Like I said, it might break even with PVOD. But the cost to make Black Widow is estimated at $200 million, which is probably before marketing. And then you're only at $232 million in your second weekend worldwide, where you have earned most of your money because we see a 67% drop. It's only going to keep going down from there. It's not going to be holding any better. You kind of collapsed on this one, you know. And I don't think it's because of Disney Plus. As I said before, we haven't blamed Disney Plus any other time until right now. So here's what I think really happened, and no one's taken this into account, and I don't know why. What really happened here is that the movie is just 3 years too late. This movie should have come out immediately after Civil War. Immediately after Civil War. I know they had other plans, blah, blah, blah. Maybe they never wanted to do this movie, but they felt like they owed Scarlett Johansson one. You know, she's given them, 10 years. She's, one of the most popular characters. They felt, okay, we owe you one. We'll get you a movie. You decided too late. And no one's talking about that. And also, the fact that the Disney Plus shows are doing something entirely, different than what the movies are doing, people, you either like or you hate, right? You either like or you hate what's going on Disney Plus. But either way, whether you like it or hate it, it's different. It's different. It's not the same thing that you've seen before. Black Widow is Civil War and Winter Soldier just all over again, starring Natasha Romanoff. That's it. So you've seen it done 2 other times. 3 other if you count Black Panther, that wasn't really a spy thriller, but you know what I'm trying to say. So you've seen it multiple other times. And then we have the Disney Plus shows, which is doing something different, something big scope, something grand planned. Falcon and Winter Soldier was Winter Soldier as well, and Civil War. So again, that, which is why a lot of people don't rank that as high as I do. But again, with that, it's not saw as and beloved as, you know, maybe WandaVision and Loki. Those are telling more personal stories. It's longer. You get to attach yourself to the characters more. It's different. People are liking or hating that. If you're liking it, you want more of that. You don't want what's over here with Black Widow. And if you're hating it, you don't want more of that. But you still don't want what's going on to be the same with Black Widow, with the same thing. We've just saw this 10-year plan. It was technically 11 years. 10-year plan come through with Avengers Endgame. And now people want something different. They want the MCU to continue in a different way. That's what the multiverse is supposed to do, but we'll see how people attach onto that. Multiverse is very high sci-fi, it's very high fantasy. Not everyone's down with that, but you can't dislike that and be like, oh, I love Lord of the Rings, or dislike that and then be like, oh, well, you know, I love Star Trek, or Star Wars. You can't, you know, it's weird, right? But since Marvel's audience is very different from those two other audiences, maybe except with the exception of Star Wars, not everyone's going to latch on to this multiverse thing. But the people that are want to see that reflected in the movies. And that's not happening until Doctor Strange. No, Spider-Man. That's not happening until Spider-Man, if all those rumors are true. So, again, when it comes to the box office of Black Widow, I think that is something we need to be talking about more, and not the fact that it's also on Disney Plus. Because why would you bring up Disney Plus ruining box office right now when you did not bring it up with Raya? You did not bring it up with Cruella. The main reason, though, we all know, as I said, I just got to kind of toot my own horn here. I told you. You shouldn't have done that. That was a big mistake, because now all the publications, Deadline, Hollywood Reporter, they're all looking at you. They're saying, you were just bragging on those numbers last week. Where are the numbers this week? You see that fall you had at the box office? But you said your numbers were high. So if your numbers were high on Disney Plus and everyone bought it, then they don't have to go see it for the second weekend. So you're to blame, Disney. You're to blame. Not entirely true. Yes, you can watch that movie more than once after you buy it on Disney Plus. But they have 2 million buys, right? $60 million, $30 a pop, 2 million buys. It's not a lot of people. It is for them because it was the highest, obviously, that the Disney Plus numbers have gotten. Shouldn't have bragged. Told you. But it's not a ton of people. It's not as many as Deadline tries to make it out to be. And they're trying to say that that's what ruined, you know, this box office decline, because you didn't get the repeat viewings. That has some to do with it, but not 67% decline to do with it. That's crazy. And also, I think that, again, people, while there are a ton of people that are ready to go to the theater, a lot still aren't. You know, we saw with Fast 9, big opening weekend, sharp decline second weekend. I don't think as many people are ready to go, you know, as we're making it out to be. A lot of people are going opening weekend. Then after that, they're saying, okay, I'm good. I went, I risked my life, risk getting sick. I'm home. Let me just chill for a week or two to make sure I'm good. No temperature, no nothing. So there's not going to be those repeat viewings, because that's just more exposure and more risk you're putting to yourself. And not everyone wants to do that. So there's other things to take into consideration here than just Disney Plus bad. It's not that simple. It's really not that simple. You know, and I'm not over here rooting for Black Widow to fail. What I root for is the truth in the numbers. That's what I root for. I root for the truth to come out, and I root for people to accept it and move on after that. But if you're not accepting it, then, you know, you're, you're just going to bring up speculation and discussion, you know? So that's what I'm all about. And that's what I've grown to like. I've actually grown to love kind of talking about just these two times what's going on at the box office, because the numbers don't lie. Women lie, men lie. The numbers, they don't lie. The numbers tell you the truth. They always have. They always will. The numbers are what has made Disney and MCU this juggernaut that it is. It's all in the numbers. It has never been in anything else. Women lie, men lie. The numbers would never lie to you. Just like those numbers don't lie on your paycheck, the numbers don't lie at the box office. Wow, this is a story for the ages here. We're going to be dissecting this. I hope that I get to like bring this up, you know, in once classes start back in my film school. I hope I get to bring stuff like this up, because we need to be talking about things like this, because what goes on at the box office on movies we work on will determine how many other jobs we get. And I mean specifically as like writers and directors and actors. I'm not talking about, you know, behind the scenes cinematography and things like that. Those people can move on, box office or not. When it comes to being a writer, director, there's expectations. So, congratulations to Space Jam, though. You know, you did okay. You're probably not going to make your money back either unless HBO Max just soars in revenue. But, you know, congrats, LeBron James. You know, he needed some type of win since he can't play in the playoffs, and it looks like Giannis is about to take that crown. But outside of that, Black Widow, we'll see what you do box office wise. You need to make at least $400 million just to crack even. And I think that, you know, even if you add in that $60 million to that 232, that's 292. That's basically right at 300. You still need 100 more, with China basically saying, yeah, we don't know. That's never a good thing, especially if it keeps declining like this. So we'll see. $400 million to break even. I'm pretty sure Disney does not just want to break even. They want that money. They want that moolah. So even that's a bit I think it's more like $500 million that's going to have to make. When you add in marketing and all the extra stuff that they probably had to pay. So $500 million is the target, I would say. But let me know what you guys think of the box office here. I really enjoy talking about this. It's so it's nice to dive into the numbers and like figure them out, because that's what makes a good business person. You know, you gotta have your numbers in order, otherwise you're out of business, man. You know, we saw so many, and I'm not gonna go on a tangent about this, but we saw so many companies, small businesses, have to close very quickly because they were living month to month on their business. And you have to manage your money right. You have to manage it correctly, just in case stuff like that happens. You have to have a cushion, a pillow. I know small businesses can't always do that, but we see it a lot. And to dive into the numbers like this, it just really helps you, because you're seeing where the numbers are coming from and where they're not coming from, what happened, what needs to be done. I love it. So let me know what you think down below about Black Widow's box office. What happened? What do you feel happened? Do you agree with me? It's much more than Disney Plus, or do you think, yeah, Disney Plus evil? Let me know. Leave a like if you liked the video. I'd greatly appreciate it. And until next time, see ya.